Hi, I'm Sally Cole with Story Hour Academy, and today I want to share some powerful storytelling that's being done by one mom of a first grade student who goes by the name Berrinchuda Montoya. This mom became so concerned with the inefficient way that schools are teaching children to read that she ran her own experiment. With her permission, I'm sharing her experiment results with you. Then I'll share my own experiment with you and suggest that not only should we be asking, is my kid learning how to read, but we should also be asking, is my kid learning how the English writing system really works? In part 1 of a video series, Berrinchuda Montoya conducts an experiment into the efficacy of leveled readers with 4 simple steps, which are so simple that you can do them at home too. I'll link to her part 1 video in the description below. Here's a short summary of the experiment. First, she had her child read a leveled book on Raz Kids. Next, she had her child read the same story with the pictures covered. Then, she had her child read the hard words in the leveled book with no pictures and no context. Finally, she had her child read the hard words again the next day, again with no pictures and no context. Here's a summary of the results. When the child read the leveled reader in the first step of the experiment, it seemed as though she could read most of the words in the book. Only 2 mistakes surfaced, one where a word was skipped and another where does was misread as doesn't. However, the next 3 steps of the experiment showed something much different. It surfaced many errors that would be detrimental to reading comprehension, such as shows for shoes, fink for fence, do's for does, and perayula for purple. The clear conclusion here is that leveled reading schemes are an inefficient and ineffective way to learn to read. Now, having identified a reading deficit, Berrinchuda Montoya runs a second experiment. This one is featured in a part 2 video, which I'll link to in the description. Here's a short summary of the part 2 experiment. First, Berrinchuda Montoya had her child read words that contain the UR grapheme that end in LE or that have both of these features. Next, she gave her child a phonics lesson on UR and on the consonant LE syllable type. After this lesson, she had her child read the new word list without help. Then she had her child read the new word list with help. Finally, on the following day, she had her child read the word list again to check for retention. Here are the results. With just 1 phonics lesson and a bit of practice, the child was able to read 5 new target words and retain them the following day. Berrinchuda Montoya's conclusion in the part 2 video was that phonics works. I completely agree that phonics works better than leveled readers. I also want to be clear that grapheme and phoneme correspondences, also known as GPCs, are a critical component of early reading instruction. However, I'd like to propose a modified conclusion to the evidence presented thus far, which is that phonics works for some words. I have deep expertise on the exceptions of phonics because between June 2016 and January 2019, I produced and published a series of 100 phonics video lessons. The videos are all available for free on this Story Hour Academy YouTube channel. Nearly every video includes a section about exceptions, where the phonics pattern being taught does not actually work. For example, I will play you the exceptions section of my UR video.
Now let's talk about exceptions. Where does UR not say er?
Well, it happens when the U stands alone. Here's a word as an example. I'll write it down and then we'll sound it out. Spelled M-U-R-A-L. This word is pronounced mural, where the U is making more of a long U sound. U. M-U-R-A-L. Mural. And it kind of blends together because it's still in our controlled vowel. Mural. Mural. Same with the next word here. Spelled P-U-R-E. So the E makes the U long. U says U. P says P. P. U. R. Pure. When it blends together, it says pure, not per. Pure. If you want to say per, you would write P-U-R-R. The cat likes to purr. The cat is pure black. So those are the only exceptions that you'll find with UR. One of the incorrect things about this section of my UR video lesson is that it only lists two exceptions, mural and pure. There are countless other exceptions, such as cure, secure, manure, demure, figure, failure, tenure, Uranus, uranium, and many more, including all the numerous words in the morphological families of these words. A literacy organization called the Reading League has a slogan which states, "When we know better, we do better." I do know better now than to teach patterns and exceptions and more patterns and more exceptions. How I teach now could be a whole presentation. So instead, I will show you some things that I would point out to a student first learning how to read the word purple. I would start with some explicit direct instruction about the word purple. For example, I may say, this is the word purple. It is spelled P-U-R-P-L-E. Purple is a color made from a combination of red and blue. This word can be used to describe things like a purple shirt, a purple house, or a purple shoe. It can also be used to describe the act of making something purple. For example, you could say, the sunrise will purple the sky. Also, before teaching anything about the graphemes in this word, I'd consult the Lex Grapheme cards by Gina Cook, which are pictured here. The reason for this is that there's more to know about graphemes than pretty much anyone was taught in grade school, middle school, high school, college, or grad school. These cards are a fantastic resource which can help you teach yourself and others accurate information about the graphemes used in the English writing system. Having consulted the Lex Grapheme cards, I may go on to say, the written word purple is made of 4 graphemes and 1 marker. Here we have a P grapheme that represents P, a UR grapheme that represents another P grapheme that represents P, and an L grapheme that represents OL. The E at the end of the word is a marker. Markers do not represent a pronunciation. Let's sound this out and then talk about what the E is doing at the end of the word. Purple. Notice how I told you that the E at the end of this word is a marker. It's marking the preceding L as syllabic. This means that the L forms the mandatory part of a syllable called the nucleus. Every syllable has a nucleus. The word purple has 2 syllables, so it has to have 2 nuclei. The nucleus of the first syllable is and the nucleus of the second syllable is ol. The interesting thing about the syllabic L in purple is that it stays syllabic when suffixes are added onto purple to make longer words. Now let's pause this hypothetical lesson for a minute and look at how different it is from syllable division instruction that you might find in a phonics program. Here's a short clip from a syllable review lesson that I had made for Story Hour Academy in 2018, all about how the vowel, consonant, 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 vowel pattern that is found in the word purplish is supposed to work.
This is rule number 5. If you have more than 2 consonants together between 2 vowels, look for letter teams such as multi-letter, phonograms, digraphs, and blends. Aim to keep the letters in these letter teams together in the same syllable. So, get some more space here. The pattern we are looking for now is a vowel, consonant, consonant, consonant vowel pattern. So a pattern where you have more than 2 consonants between 2 vowels. Let's look at some words that match this pattern. Now to divide these words up into their syllable parts, you want to keep any multi-letter phonograms, consonant digraphs, or consonant blends together. And so, let's do these one at a time. In monster, it turns out that ST is a blend, where the S and the T sound naturally blend together to form ST. So you keep that together and you put the syllable division before that blend here. And you end up with first syllable mon, second syllable stir. Say it together fast, monster. Now in pilgrim, you have a consonant blend with the G that says G and the R that says They blend together to say gur. And so you put the syllable division before that blend. And you end up with first syllable pill, second syllable grim. Say it together fast, pilgrim. And explode, you have a consonant blend with PL. So you have a P that says P and an L that says ol. That blends together to say pole. So you put your syllable division before the blend. And you have first syllable X, second syllable plode. Say it together fast, explode. In athlete, you have a consonant digraph, TH, that you want to keep together. So you put the syllable division after the TH, and you end up with a first syllable ath, second syllable leet. And in mushroom, you have the consonant digraph SH that you want to keep together. So you put the syllable division after the SH right here. So you end up with a first syllable mush and a second syllable room. Say it together fast, mushroom.
Now that you've seen how syllable division patterns apply to words with a vowel, consonant, 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 vowel pattern, try dividing and then reading the word purplish. According to the lesson clipping you just watched, you would need to divide purplish between the R and the PL blend. This would lead you to read the word incorrectly as a 2-syllable nonsense word, with the first syllable purr and the second syllable plish. Put the 2 syllables together and you get purplish. You see, when a word is misread like this, it opens up the possibility that the reader won't connect the word to its meaning. The reader won't know that the word means somewhat purple. In contrast, if you attempt to read the word purplish after developing an understanding of the ISH suffix and how it can replace a single final non-syllabic E, you'll be equipped to read this word correctly as a 3-syllable word because you'll have learned to see past the surface appearance of the word, understand that it's a sibling of the word purple, and find it easy to preserve the syllabic L in the pronunciation. Pete Bowers of WordWorks Kingston developed a practice called spelling out loud, whereby teachers and learners get in the habit of calling out their understanding of word structure by the way they announce a word sum, like the one you see here. I learned from him that this word sum can be called out like this: PURPLE plus ISH is rewritten as, check the joins, PURPL, replace the E, ISH, purplish. With this word sum, the connection to meaning is firmly established. All you have to know is that the suffix ISH means somewhat, and you'll know that this word means somewhat purple. So you've seen the difference now between getting an understanding of the syllabic L versus learning about unreliable syllable division patterns. If you ask me which is better, I would offer you the hypothesis that teaching the syllabic L while ignoring syllable division patterns would produce stronger readers. And this brings me to my own Purple Challenge for you to try at home. It's very similar to Berrinchuda Montoya's experiments, except this time the target words are all siblings of the word purple. In the first step of the experiment, have a beginning reader read words in the same morphological family as purple. Next, study the word purple with the child using the 4 questions of structured word inquiry. Third, have the child read the words from step 1 again. Finally, have the child read the words the next day and use them in a sentence. I ran this experiment with my 2nd grade son. I'll show you the parts of the challenge that were tricky for him, how great he did with the words the next day, and a summary of the results.
Wait.
What's the suffix on there?
Purpler.
That's right.
Purple heart?
That's right. Will you call out this word sum?
Purple. Yes, purplish. I will show you the 8 words again. Please do your best to read them accurately. Ready? I'm ready. Purple, purplish, purples, purpled, purpler, purplest, purple hearts.
Here is a summary of the results of my own Purple Challenge experiment. During the pretest, my son needed help with purpler, and he guessed at purple heart. During the structured word inquiry lesson and practice session, he misread purples as purpleless. However, by the post-test, he could read all of the words correctly, and the next day, he retained his ability to read all 8 of the target words. My conclusion from this experiment is that word-level reading, vocabulary, and comprehension skills improve when grapheme and phoneme correspondences are studied in a morphological context. One fact that underpins this conclusion, which I've never seen communicated by any phonics program, is that graphemes represent phonemes inside of morphemes. At the beginning of this presentation, I said that I'll share my own experiment with you and suggest that not only should we be asking, is my kid learning how to read? But we should also be asking, is my kid learning how the English writing system really works? I pointed out a few things that mainstream phonics and language arts programs for beginning readers are not covering. Consider questions such as these. Is my kid learning an accurate inventory of graphemes? Is my kid learning the replaceable E? Is my kid learning the syllabic L? Is my kid learning orthographic conventions, such as the one guiding the replacement of the replaceable E with a vowel suffix? And is my kid learning about morphological families? For most kids, I have to guess that the answers are no across the board. They are not learning these things, nor are they learning many other things that I didn't even get the chance to cover in this presentation. about how the English writing system really works. There are secrets to unlock, and they won't be unlocked by anyone who thinks that the science of reading is settled science. We all can think scientifically about the challenge of beginning reading instruction. Berrinchuda Montoya did with her simple experiments, and now I have too. If you'd like to try my experiment with a beginning reader, you can get presentation files for it at storyhouracademy.com/purple, or try your own experiment and let us know how it goes. I wish you and all the beginning readers you work with great success.